everybody. Welcome to the Wine La Vie show with Keisha. I am your host. Keisha ShonGee Johnson is in the building. Baby, we're going to have a good time. I hope you're ready. Listen, I got a dynamic show for you tonight. How you doing? How has your day been? I hope you have had a fantastic day. I hope everything went well with you at work or any of your activities that you had to do today. Listen, I hope ain't nobody got on your nerves, okay? But if they did, honey, baby, it's time to wind it on down, baby, with Wine La Vie, baby. Listen, I hope you're ready. Listen, I hope you're ready to get your grown and sexy and just doing your thing and just relax, release, exhale. Listen, honey, what you did not do, okay, and did not finish today, baby, worry about it tomorrow, okay? Listen, I thank you so very, very, very much for being a part of the Wine La Vie podcast. This is our third season. I cannot do what I do without all of you. So kudos to you. Thank you so much for tuning in every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern. When I tell you I love what I do, but I love you more, okay? So let me tell you what I got for y'all tonight, honey. I've been up here in this kitchen, baby, clanging these pots, baby. But honey, let me tell you about this feature. I'm about to get to the Shakira in a minute, right? So I have clients and customers that may be diabetic or they're non-alcoholic, right? So you know I'm a wine lover, right? So I put together, I got a 2 for 2, right? I put together how to drink wine and also how to drink a non-alcoholic beverage, okay? So I am going to introduce, you like this? Look at this. Look at how pretty that is, right? You see that? Right? Tonight's feature, this is actually California Riesling white wine, okay? So, and this right here, this was released 2025, okay? That wine is meant to be chilled, okay? As you see, I hold it by the stem, right? Because it's chilled, right? And I don't want it to warm up my wine, okay? And the aging grapes is 3 years. This particular wine, the alcohol content is 13.5, and it is a dry wine, right? So this wine right here is paired with seafood like sushi, oysters, crab, lobster, right? It's also delicious with pork dishes like smoked ham, BLTs, and sausages, right? So I know you love to put a good beef sausage on the grill, baby. It is springtime, summertime is coming, right? So this wine right here is paired with those seafood dishes. So your girl been in the kitchen, baby. You understand what I'm saying? I love what I do, okay? I love my job. I just love being me. I just love being me. I don't want to be nobody else. I just want to be me, right? So what I prepared for you also, and I'm about to get into the non-alcoholic, okay? So, but I want you to see this dish. Listen. I'm so proud of myself. Okay. So if you can see this, I have some homemade potatoes and green beans, okay, seasoned, right, to perfection, right? And right here, since the Riesling wine is paired with seafood, voila. I got whole fish. When I tell you this is whole fish, porgy whole fish, right? And I have the head on it. And I smothered this in some vegetable broth, some oil, some peppers, some mushrooms, some onions, and I stuffed it in the inside, right? It smells so good, ladies and gentlemen. I cannot wait to enjoy that. Okay. But for my non-alcoholic clients, listen, I have something for you. Okay. So listen, do you see this? Right? So this is actually, it has fresh pineapples. It has also fresh strawberries, right? And with a twist of lime, right? Actually, this right here is, people don't know, but I like to, when I'm shopping and when I'm looking at different food items, I like to get stuff that everyone can enjoy, right? Guess what? Have you seen this Minute Maid zero sugar? Okay, this is strawberry lemonade. Okay, it has only 5 calories, no sugar, right? Then also they got it in all different kind of flavors, right? This is just a regular lemonade, right? Zero sugar, right? And only 0 calories, right? So what I did, I put the fresh strawberries, fresh strawberries, fresh pineapples, and everything inside. Although it's no sugar, but with the additional fruit that's in there, it kind of gives it a little twist, right? And then so it's not, sweetened. I just kind of, squeeze a little bit of a twist of lime in it, and it's delicious. Okay, and you can still have your wine trinkets on your glass, right? So you don't have to be left out. You can still be a part of the party, okay? You can still do your thing, okay? Right. So what I did with the Riesling, right, is I put the fresh strawberries, I put fresh pineapples in here, and also too, just to change the taste of the wine, I did a little twist of lime, and it kind of sets your palate off to kind of like a sweet but dry, but not too dry. So yeah, so it's a great combination. Okay, so listen, it's spring and summertime, so definitely try that. Listen, so it's gonna set your palate off, your food, your dishes, everything is going to be phenomenal. Okay, so y'all know I always do health regimen or something in regards to healthcare, being a healthcare professional, right? Hey, Sheila, right? So what I do is, it is National Donate Life Month. So I have dedicated this show to wearing blue. The colors this year for Donate Life Month is blue or either green, right? So being a healthcare professional of over 30 years, I just love my patients, and I love what I do, right? So you just don't know how many people are needing organs or tissue. And let me just school you about this, okay? Listen, and when I say more than 100,000 people are waiting for a life-saving transplant. Transplants rely on the generosity. That's talking about me, you, okay, of organs, eyes, tissue donators, and there is never enough of donors to meet the need. Okay, so the supply and the demand for the need and what's available is not there. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, right? 100,000 people. I had to repeat that. 100,000 people. That's a lot of people. A lot of people that is needing organ transplants, right? Did you know every 8 minutes, another person is added to the national transplant waiting list. 8 minutes. You understand what I'm saying? That's a lot. Okay. There are 6,000 currently people die each year while waiting for a life-saving organ transplant. Ladies and gentlemen, this is serious and we got to open up our eyes. And I know that people are maybe hesitant to be donors, but your organs, your transplant, your organs can go to save a life, right? So when you have your license, right? And at the bottom of your license, it says donor. Okay. I am a donor. Okay. When I have went on to glory, listen, whatever organs, tissue, eyes that can be used to help someone or save someone, listen, by all means, I'm not going to need it where I'm going. So by all means, listen, if it can save a life, then I'm willing and able to do so, right? So let me tell you the types of donations, right? Deceased donations, living donations, pediatric donations, VCA donations, right? And so if you did not know what the organs and tissue donation, that consists of heart, lung, kidney, liver, intestines, pancreas, cornea, tissues, birth tissues, right? So everything that our makeup is a living organ, it's living tissue. Okay, so the donor registries, right? If you would like to be a donor, okay, or look to get more information, right, is the National Donate Life Registry, right? National Donate Life Living Donor Registry, right? Registering to be a donor at the DMV. That goes back to your license, right? And removing yourself from the donor registry, right? So if you no longer want to be a part, you have that choice as well, right? So who can be a donor, right? People of all ages, medical histories should consider themselves potential donors, right? Your medical condition at this time of death will determine the organs and tissue that can be donated, right? The national system matches your body type, your blood, your body size, how sick you are, all of that, how far the donor distance is, all of that is matched up through the national system database, right? Also, too, let's also talk about how do I know if I'm ready, if I'm already registered to be a donor, right? If you go on the registry of the National Donate Life Registry, right, on donatelife.net, right, or registerme.org, okay, you can register yourself to be a donor, and also you can also see if you've already placed your name on the list. Okay. Also, too, if you want to learn more about living donations, right? Here's information where you can look. Living organ donation offers another choice for some transplant candidate, reducing their time on the waiting list or leading better to long-term outcomes for the recipient. Okay. Living tissue donation, birth tissue, is used to promote healing and treat burns, painful wounds, right? You know, Grady has a burn unit there, right? So your skin, your donation can go to help when there's skin grafts that need to be done, right? So, ladies and gentlemen, when I tell you, listen, I got all kinds of phenomenal. Listen, they gave me so much information at the Donate Life America, okay? And I really, really believe in this organization. It's a nonprofit organization. And just look, be a symbol of hope for those who are waiting. Okay. You and I can be a symbol for those that are waiting, right? Waiting to be on the list, waiting to get the knowledge, waiting to get the organs, waiting to live again. You understand what I'm saying? This is so very, very important. A lot of people are waiting. So, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're ready for what I got for you tonight. My featured guest for tonight's show, okay, is none other, okay, than the Mr. Willie Olive. Okay, he is dedicated. Let me tell you about him. He's a dedicated professional with a strong educational foundation, holding degrees in computer engineer and business management from the University of Georgia, UGA in the building. Okay, his academic background has equipped him with the technical expertise, strategic leadership skills necessary to excel in his field. Beyond his professional pursuits, Willie is deeply committed to his family. He is a devoted husband to Miss Glennis Oliver, proud father of 7 children, a loving grandfather to 8 grandchildren. His family-centered values extended into his community service, where he is actively supports initiatives that foster personal growth and development. Willie serves as a deacon at the Enon Church in College Park, Georgia, where he and his wife co-chair the church marriage ministry, helping couples build strong, faith-centered relationships. His passion for mentorship and community involvement is further reflected in his engagement and active membership with various esteemed organizations, including Omega Psi Phi, okay, Prince Hall Shriners, okay, Prince Hall Masons, okay, the DPF Youth Male Organization and Legacy Club of Young Males. His current is on the youth mentoring and supporting transitional housing for families in need. And he is, and when I say he is, an advocate for service and leadership. Willie enjoys volunteering, mentoring, traveling activities that allow him to share his knowledge, uplift others, and expand his perspective on the world. His dedication to his personal collective growth continues to make a lasting impact on those around him. Ladies and gentlemen, this is my brother, my friend, Mr. Willie.
Good evening, everyone. What an introduction. Thank you, Keisha G. Thank you.
Yes.
We'll get you to be my hype lady from now on.
Yes. Thank you so much for being a part of the Wine La Vie podcast. Brother, listen, you have done some mighty, and when I say mighty, extraordinary things in the community. Like, brother, I salute you for all of your accomplishments.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You know, it's something that has to be in your heart that you want to do. Otherwise, you won't be effective at it. And I love volunteering. I love giving back and helping where I can help. You know, you never know where that help is needed. And it could be you or me that needs the help. And hopefully somebody, you know, will reciprocate. You don't do it for that. But when you receive it, it's a humbling thing.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. When I say phenomenal job you have done thus far. And I know this is just the beginning.
Yeah, that's what I tell myself. I have a lot more to give, a lot more to show. And definitely for our youth to, in my heart, help guide them, so they're not starting from ground zero. Show them the shortcuts, show them a different way or a different perspective on really going about life. When I was coming up, I had guidance, but I didn't have the guidance on what it was like in the real world. And that's something I want to impart, to those that I run across. Definitely, our youth, more specifically, young males.
Yes, absolutely. That is a beautiful thing because it's so many young males that are lost.
Yeah. And, I see it, they're lost. You know what? They often, they are stigmatized as being dumb, illiterate. That's far from the truth. Far from the truth. They're just
Right.
misunderstood, and you have to channel that energy into something that's more positive that they can relate to. Very brilliant minds out there, very brilliant minds. But you have to be able to direct them into something that's going to get traction with them, that they can feel like, okay, I can build upon this. I can make a difference. I can help my family. And once you see that spark, that's all they need, just a spark to get them going.
Yes, absolutely. And honey, you've been sparking them up. You've been sparking them up.
I do what I can
I
with
see
my
you,
limited
brother. I
ability.
see you, brother. I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing.
Yeah. And I've been fortunate, in my life, I've had a lot of people that have been parted into me, both family and non-family. And I was smart enough to listen. Oftentimes, when you're on this journey, you see people, young people, it may not seem that they're listening, but
Right.
down the road, they'll come back and say, you said something that stuck with me. And I thought about it, I tried it, and it worked, and that's gratifying. That's very gratifying.
Right. Right. That's a beautiful thing when I tell you, like, it's so much knowledge that young people can obtain if they only just open their eyes and listen.
Yeah. And
You know,
we have to motivate them, and not
absolutely.
as adults, it's our job to guide them. And some will get it right away, some won't. You're going to run into some knuckleheads, but
Right, right,
you know,
absolutely.
if you see the opportunity, you have to stick with it, because often they're just waiting to waiting you out. Okay, how long is it going to take before I wear him down and he walks away? Well, I'm
Mhm.
not a walk away type brother. I'm going to stick with it. Until you just push me away. Because
Right.
if I see that spark, if I see the desire, I'm going to stick with you. I'm going to work with
Mhm.
you.
Mhm. And nowadays, young people, they just really feel like if they want to see if you're going to be persistent, are you really going to be interested in really helping them, or is it just
Right.
all talk?
That's a big part of it. And, you know, the other part is, they want it right now. Well,
Right.
the reality of it is everybody's not going to get it right now. Some of us are going to have to work for it, but there are safe ways to work for it and get the money, to get to the bag,
Mhm.
to get your Rolex if that's what you want,
Right.
and
Get to the bag.
get get the bag, get the bag. So I try to steer them in areas that are high growth,
Right.
because we have, as a people, we have the mindset,
Yes.
any type of STEM program, artificial intelligence, data mining, data warehousing, crypto technology, all of that's things that our young males, our people, our young girls can thrive at. Once they get
Right.
in there and they see it's not as hard as it's been made to believe, often that's a
Right.
smoke screen to keep us out. I was in that space,
Mhm.
computer engineering, computer programming, computer science. It's hard. It's hard. For me, it was a breeze. And for most people, once you get in and you learn the logic, it's easy. That's all our people need. That's all our young people need. And then you show them, if you get to this point, you can make this. Everybody's not going to be an athlete or a movie
Yeah.
star or an entertainer, but there's good money to be made, in other. And, you know, my goal, my passion is to show them other ways to make the money. safe ways to make the money, reliable ways to make the money.
Yes. Listen, have you always been interested in computer science?
Oddly enough, in grade school, high school, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I come from a small country town, Madison, Georgia. It wasn't really geared for people of color to help guide you into any profession. A lot of factories, so you would either go work in a factory or work on a farm. But my junior year, they brought in computers into the school, and I started playing around with it, saw that I was good at it. I enjoyed it. And that's really what spearheaded me into, the profession and getting my degree from UGA. Go Dogs,
Go Dogs.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes, that is so awesome. Matter of fact, my papa is from Madison. So, hey, listen, that's like home for me,
Hey, we could be related. We could be related. Right, a small country town. Yeah.
Yes. So that is so awesome because, when my girls were younger, I always kept them in a STEM program at Georgia Tech. Like always, anything that was STEM related, always kept them in, the programs and close to computer science or IT or mechanical. So yes, so I'm all for that. It's so much money to be made. Yes,
and for households that have a forward-thinking parent, whether it's dual parenting or single parenting, exposure for our youth is paramount. If they can see beyond their block or their neighborhood, that gives them an inspiration that there's a whole world out there that they can achieve and try to become part of.
Right, exactly. Exactly. Like even after I graduated, I have a dual major. So you talk about healthcare,
dual major,
and IT.
That is great. Yes. That is great.
Yes. So hey, listen, computer science, listen, I love it. I love it. I love it, hands down. Listen, so how are you like doing this whole work-life balance? How are you handling everything that's on your plate and everything with working and mentoring and leadership and organizations? How are you doing work-life balance?
You have to prioritize what's important. First and foremost, my marriage, my wife, my home life is important. And being centered in that manner, it makes everything else fall in place where it needs to be. Dedicated to my wife, dedicated to my church. And with that as, a framework, everything else falls in line. Because if the home life is right, all the other stuff that you're going to do outside of the home is going to be easy. It's going to be understood that, okay, you're going out to do this, but you're coming back. There's not the arguing there or fighting. Oftentimes Glennis can come with me if she chooses to come. So it's a balance. 24 hours in a day, you divvy up that time and you make the most of it. Make the most of it. Because really, in reality, everyone has a claim, upon what we do if we're trying to do good. And we should want to make a difference. Not everyone is of that mindset. Some it's all about me. But if you want to make a difference, you could do it in your own little small way.
Right. Listen, like that is so good because, I have women and men on the podcast, right? And that is so important. When you have that work-life balance and you able to juggle your organization's work life, your spiritual side, your spiritual relationship, your family, your children, it's a lot. Yeah, we carry and wear a lot of hats as men and women. Okay. Right. So just to be able to have some type of focus, that's important.
Right. You have to be grounded, and definitely as a Black man, you have to be focused and have something to center it upon, because we face a lot.
Right.
we face a lot that we don't talk about with our mate or with other people. We may talk about it with other males, but we face a lot once we step outside the confines of our home. Just from being judged, always looked upon, whether you believe it or not, you still have to prove that you're just as good as, or if not better than the next person. That still exists. It still exists. I deal with it, but you learn how to navigate that space and make it work for you. Because at the end of the day, it's a game. It's a big, huge game. And once you learn the rules of the game, you have to make that game work in your favor.
Right. Listen, Pam Jenkins said, "Black man, okay, black man, okay."
Pam Jenkins.
Listen.
Hey, hello, black woman.
He putting these nuggets, baby. He putting these nuggets out here. You understand what I'm saying?
Hi, Pam.
Out here.
Yeah, Pam is one of my good friends. I love Pam. Heart of gold. Yes. Heart of gold.
Yes, absolutely. Listen, here it is, Willie. I'm a healthcare professional, and it's National Donate Life Month, okay, for the month of April, right?
Right.
And when I tell you, I could not do this episode right here without you, okay? Your story, your testimony, just the things that you have endured, and you don't look like what you've been through or what you're going through. You understand what I'm saying? I always see my brother with that smile. I always see, you just lit up as if, hey, life is good. I'm good. My wife is good. My children are good. Listen, hey, I'm going to have a good time and I'm going to enjoy life.
You have to enjoy life. I mean, this has been a journey. We don't ask for what we encounter. And when I was diagnosed with kidney cancer, I went into this space of, why me, Lord? I'm trying to do right. Try to help people. And what came back, and my sister's an evangelist, and she said, well, we're taught as Black people, don't question God. She said, well, if you don't question God, you'll never know his answer. It's like light bulb went off. I said, why me? And the answer that came back was, why not you? And that put everything in perspective. Just because I'm doing all of this stuff doesn't mean I won't go through, trials and tribulations. It's been a journey. I can tell you that. It's been a learning experience. It's humbled me, taught me patience, fortitude beyond what I thought I had. And, just being able to stick with it and deal with it. Every day is different. Glennis asked me every day, how you feeling? Well, today, not so good. Today, I'm doing good today. I'm doing better today. But it's been a journey, 3 years into it right now. Cancer has not returned. Because
Praise
it was kidney cancer, I had to wait 3 years to get listed for a transplant because it was so aggressive. It would either come back in the abdomen or in my lungs. So for 3 years, every 2 weeks, I'm getting tested, giving blood to the vampires. But, I've persevered. That was the protocol. Didn't like it, didn't want it, but to get to where I'm at now, I had to go through that. So we finally got, and I say we because Glennis has been right there with me. She's been the rock that's kept me motivated, and it's hard on caregivers. I try not to burden her with it, but she's been my rock. Making sure that as best as she can, I try to stay motivated. I feel that I'm a strong-willed, strong-minded person. But going through cancer, waiting 3 years to come out of that protocol to get listed, it wears on you because the dialysis is draining on the body. If you haven't been through it, you can't stop it if it's something that's going to happen to you, but you can't give up if you love life and if you want to live. And I'm one of those that love life, and the only other option was to give up. And I'm not a give up type person, so I fought through it. I'm here now. That's part of my testimony. The other part of it is, I've had a very, very, very good support system. All of the giving I've done, I didn't do it to get back, but I've had so many people that pour into me, offer to support me, that it's very humbling when you get it and when you see it. But again, I didn't go into everything I've done in the community, within the organizations for that. That was in my heart and still is. But to receive it back, it's like, okay, I've touched somebody, for them to want to support myself and support Glennis, in the manner that they have, very church system. Enon Church here in College Park. I love my church, love my pastor. They've been there day one, supporting me and encouraging me. So that means a lot when you have that type of support. Keeps you motivated, that even if you want to give up, you're going to let all these people down, so you don't want to do that. Right. So, that's my journey, in my faith in God. I truly believe God has kept me. I know he has kept me. Glennis has seen that. She's seen that. He has kept me. So she said, you're still here for a purpose. Don't know what it is, but I guess when I see it, I'll know it, And it could be to be on this show to share my story.
Hey, listen.
ShonGee, thank you.
Absolutely. When I tell you, Cassandra said, look at God. Sheila said, praise God. When I tell you, listen, you have so many people that love you and support you and is rooting for you. And I know that at times you do get tired, and sometimes you might get a little weary. But you know what, though? Your work is not done, brother.
No,
it's not
keep
done.
Pushing. You keep pushing.
You gotta keep pushing.
Yeah, I keep pushing.
You gotta keep pushing.
Your sister is going to push me. She's going to drag me, pull me. You're coming with me. You're getting out of this house. We're going to get some sunshine. You're going to do this. So she makes sure that I'm not just sitting around. I don't always like it, but then once I get going, I'm good. I'm good.
Right. Listen, so how are you feeling as far as when it comes to being put on the list, as
I'm elated, I'm elated. Like I said, a 3-year wait. So, Florida has a wait list. I'm beyond South Carolina, Alabama, North Carolina, and Texas. So it just increases your odds of getting listed quicker. And anyone out there in, live stream land that wants to consider being a donor for yours truly, ShonGee can give you my contact information. I'm O positive. So either you or if you know anyone who wants to be a donor, tell them to hit me up. I'll get care of it.
Absolutely. Listen, brother, because I'm so connected and I believe and I trust in God so much for your healing and your recovery and you getting that kidney. Listen, if I need to be tested to be a donor and give you one of my kidneys, just don't get the bad one. You get the good one, okay? Okay.
You can have my kidney, okay? Thank you for that. Thank you for that. And we can do twin. We can be on the show together, twinning up.
Right. Right. Absolutely. Listen, because I love you and Glennis. And I know that you are a very, very special couple, dear to my heart and my life. And
I make her look good, don't I? I make her look good. Yeah. Don't tell her I said that.
Okay, Glennis gonna get you for that one. Yes. So when I tell you, Sadonna, she said, God is so good. And God is so good. Willie, you have organization that is pouring love to you. We right here. We linking arms. Listen, we moving together. Arm in arm, okay? You're not in this fight by yourself, brother. Not in this fight at all by yourself.
Well, I appreciate that, and I see that. I never lost faith that I would have the support. It's just a matter of, like I said, getting through that 3-year wait. And that weighs on your mind that you have to wait. And really, the closer I got to that threshold, it was like, can it just happen so I can get the approval? And Glennis and I, we've got the approval. I think she was more excited than me. Yeah.
That is so good. So good. Listen, brother, you got so much work to do. God not done with you yet. He's not done with you yet.
You don't think so?
He's not done with you yet. He's not done with you yet. You got so much life, so much mentoring. Your story alone is a testament of your faith, miracles, signs, and wonders. Right. Okay.
And I tell people, enjoy life. Prior to this ailment and this test that I've been going through, because it's been a test of my faith. My focus wasn't where it should have been. It wasn't centered like it should have been. But believe me, I'm centered now, and I know what's important. And I tell anyone, live life, love life while you have the opportunity. A lot of the organizations that I'm a member of, I had to step back to take care of me, but they were still there. They were still there, and they, in a bigger sense, kept space for me. So, I didn't lose anything there, but it did help recenter, what's important. And family, my church, that's important. Everything else is going to fall in place if you have those, in my opinion, line up in the right way, and definitely, my marriage. I'm a big proponent of healthy, positive marriage. And, to that end, even through all of this, Glennis and I, we continued to push and promote healthy Black marriages within our church, and just continue to encourage people to stay in it. It may get rough, it may get rocky, but, you have to work through that. Anything worth having is worth sticking with and working through those ups and downs. So having that person, whether it's your spouse or your mate, be right there with you lockstep, that counts for a lot. I can't imagine going through this journey, what I've been through, and not having someone there to support you.
Right.
And I know there are people out there in that space, but if you have someone to support you, that means everything in the world. Everything in the world. Yes. Tell her I said that. Tell her I said that.
I will. Listen, the Rosses said that they love you. Sheila says we love you both. When I tell you, you have so many people that just love you and are super proud of what you're doing in the community. You're not, woe is me, but you're just still taking care of yourself, but you're still pushing forward. And so that's important. You understand what I'm saying? You're pushing forward, but you're pushing forward as a team. Okay. Right. And so my pastor always, and I always quote this, is what he said, Pastor Jamal Baker. He said, listen, he said, if you want to do it fast, do it alone. Right. But if you want to go far, take a team. You understand what I'm saying? And so for that, you have a team, brother, okay, that's going all the way with you, okay?
When I get that kidney, we're going to have a party, ShonGee.
Yes, honey. Let's have a party.
It's going to be a life party.
Yes, I'm with it. Listen, I'm there. I'm with it, okay? I can't wait. I'm already excited already, okay?
No, I'm for real. I'm for real. This is going to happen.
Yes. Yes, listen. Chiquita said Team Will all the way.
Oh, that's my sister, Chiquita. Hi, Chiquita. Yeah, she's been a big supporter as everyone else has been. She's had her own challenges, so we've uplifted and motivated each other. So I'm very proud of her. Very proud of her.
Yes. When I say, Sadonna, listen, says standing strong, brother, standing strong. Listen, she did her arms for you, okay?
Yeah. Sadonna's my quiet rock. She doesn't know it, but she's my quiet rock. She's always walking around, smiling. but she does offer me words of encouragement. Looking good, Brother Oliver, looking good.
Yes, yes. And listen, Rolanda, she said, listen, they just celebrated 31 years of marriage.
Yeah,
Okay. So she said, yes.
Yeah, that's a blessing, and anyone that tells you, they haven't had any trouble in marriage,
right.
I would have to question that. Life is going to present you with challenges. And definitely when you bring two people from potentially different backgrounds, different mindsets, you're going to have challenges as you work through this thing called life. Glennis and I have been married 16 years. I think it's 16.
Wow.
Yeah, it's 16. Yes, yeah, it's 16. And we've had our challenges. Yeah, so but I wouldn't have it any other way. I would not have it any other way. Yeah. I get on her nerve and she gets on my nerve, but we're there for each other.
Right. You just deal with it. Listen, like, okay, I get on your nerves, you get on my nerves. Okay, let's kiss and make up. All right.
And move on. And that's how it goes. That's exactly how it goes.
Listen, Rolanda said it's how you work them out is what counts.
And that's true. No truer words spoken. That's true. Because it's easy to just get mad and walk away and get a divorce. But the real work comes in working through it and realizing you're better as a unit than separate.
Right. Stronger together.
Yeah.
Stronger together. Absolutely.
Very much so.
Listen, Felicia said, that's love. She said, that's love, brother. That's love.
Hey, Felicia Goolsby. Yeah, I see so many names that I'm familiar with. I'm very honored, that they are tuning in and listening to little old me.
Listen, I'm telling you, brother, your testimony is a powerful punch. You understand? It's like a nuclear explosion. It's because for you to still be here to tell the story, and here it is, we got a party to plan.
Oh, the party is happening. You just get ready.
Listen, we got a party to plan.
Get ready. Yeah. There's a lot of people that have been in my corner. Some are more quiet with it than others. Kia and Stacy Ross. They've been in my corner from day one. But once they found out, and it just means a lot when you see them. They're always smiling. How you doing, brother? That means a lot. My birthday twin, I think she's on, she's always encouraging me, to, stay strong, keep the faith. So, I'm here, I'm not going anywhere anytime soon.
Yes. Listen, Asia, she said, yes, working through any problems. That's the key. Okay. And listen, Cassandra, she said, that's my birthday twin. Love you, twin.
Oh, we had a blowout party some years ago. Yeah, we shut it down. I thought back in the day, I thought I knew how to party. She and her family know how to party. So we're gonna plan another blowout celebration. Okay. Celebration of life.
Celebration of life. When I tell you, it's absolutely phenomenal. Who behind all of this strength that you have, who influenced you to just keep going? Who's been your biggest supporter where it came to you going to UGA for computer engineer? Who influenced you?
My father, who's passed away, influenced me. They came out of the sharecropping era. So coming up, it was 10 of us. He said, I don't have much to give you, but whatever you decide to do, if it's positive, I'll be there to support you. And he was just a hardworking man. He lived to be 101.
Wow.
I always saw him work. I always saw him in, the house of the Lord. And that faith is what was instilled in me, and, looking at him and my mother, I know it wasn't easy for them coming up in that era. So I would be remiss if I came up being a knucklehead and causing them trouble. Out of 10 kids, we didn't cause them any trouble. It would have been a dishonor. So, just my parents, and looking at then what they went through, didn't know we struggling, never went hungry, always had clothes, had a house, roof over our head. But it was hard. That's why he worked 2.5, 3 jobs sometimes, to make sure we were provided for. And that fortitude was instilled in me, and it keeps me going. Like I said, I'm not a give up, quit type guy.
Right.
You'll always see me pushing and going. Glennis may be pulling me in some cases, but I'm going to be there. I may be spitting bullets, but I'll be there.
I know that's right. I know that's right. That is so amazing. What would you tell someone that is looking, whether it's go to college, pursue in their dreams in business, because you do have a business management degree as well. What would you tell someone that's looking to do business, but they're hesitant or they're unsure?
When I mentor youth, what I tell them, college isn't for everyone. That's
Right.
It's a very structured, expensive environment. Some people want to do that as a goal, but I do encourage them to look at, a 2-year school or go to a 6-month to a year trade, organization that you can learn a trade that can bring you just as much money as a computer engineer, if not more. It just depends on the person, their mindset, and what they have the aptitude for. But our people are very smart people. Everyone has something they can do. So if not college, look at the 2-year route. If not the 2-year route, look at being an electrician, a plumber, a construction framer, a roofer. All of those things are in high demand. You can get a degree in artificial intelligence in a year. Google will give you a certificate. You come out of there, you go to work for Google, guaranteed job, 1 year, so there are, a myriad of opportunities. A lot of them our people don't know because we don't read and we're not sharing the information with others. So it really depends on what you have an interest in. Right now, I'm telling everyone, just become familiar in tune with artificial intelligence. It's going to drive what we do. You see it already. In a lot of ways, from banking to, this platform that we're on right now. Artificial intelligence is built into it in some form or fashion. So, it benefits all of us just to become familiar with it and not be afraid of it. People say, well, it's going to take our jobs.
Absolutely.
But heck, every advancement causes jobs to go away. You have to retrain, retool, learn a new skill set. That's just progression. And either you progress or you wither away. And, I choose not to wither away, and that's what I try to encourage people. And definitely, the youth that I work with, find something that's relevant now, become an expert at it. It won't seem like it's work, and you'll make that bag. You'll get to the bag. When you get tired of that, learn something else because, the world is changing. Technology is changing.
Right. That is crazy. Even Jaquita, she said, Chat GPT is free. Like,
yeah,
it's so many different avenues that you can go in. And even like you say, even if you don't go to college, but do something constructive, do something that is legal, do something that can still provide the income that you're looking for. And those were nuggets. You dropped the mic on that one, brother.
Yeah. And, you have to be willing to take a chance,
Right.
If you fail, look at it as a learning lesson, and then try it a different way. But never be afraid of failing, and I had to learn that. We were taught that, as Black males in my family, or just in my family in general, you have to be better. You have to be good. And I get it and I understand it. So I didn't want to fail. I didn't want to disappoint my parents. But failing is part of growing. That's part of growth, and as long as you can learn from it, not make the same mistake twice, you're better off. You know what to avoid. And, in my movement now, if I can teach and show others, how to navigate this minefield of life, they're going to be better off for it. And then hopefully they pass it on, in the different organizations that I'm a member of. That's one of the things we do as being out in the community is trying to help others. And, if they receive it, they're going to do good. They're going to do good.
Wow. Amazing, brother. Amazing. Listen, man, you done dropped the nuggets. Boom. You done dropped the nuggets tonight, brother. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you are taking some notes because brother Oliver has definitely dropped some serious nuggets that can help.
Is it over? Can we keep going?
Absolutely. Oh no, it's not. It's not over.
How much time you got? How much time you got, Keisha?
How much time you need? Okay.
I don't want to wear out my welcome.
No,
you like that guest,
no.
you like that guest you invite over and they don't want to leave.
Listen, you done dropped the nuggets, and you know how leaving with the last impression of being on the list and being a candidate and just waiting for that phone call and you know that anticipation that you have,
right?
Like, how important is it to not get discouraged as a Black male that's on the list? Because
it's very important, and I've talked with a lot of people in my condition, Black males who received an organ from, you know, a white person or Asian person, but you know, they said they didn't give up. You know, they kept the faith, they kept the hope, and it came through. So you can't give up. You know, it may get hard, you may struggle with, you know, mentally, you know, why you know, but you know, you can't give up. You know, you have to have that fortitude to keep pushing. And, you know, like I said, in my case, because it was kidney cancer, it was a 3-year wait. For normal kidney failure, as soon as they, you know, run the battery of tests on you, which you're familiar with, you could be listed within 6 months. But for 3 years, that can be pressing on your mind, you know. And, you know, Glennis and I would often talk about it, and she would do what she does to keep me motivated. You know, she wouldn't whisper sweet nothings in my ear, but she would keep me motivated in her own way, you know, and I appreciate her for that. But it's very important. You can't give up. If you love life, if you want to live life, you have to keep pushing. And I would push to the end. Finally got listed. That was almost like getting the phone call that we have an organ for you. Because it was like, finally, we made it. You know, finally, we made it.
Yes. Jaquita said, if God brings you to it, he'll bring you through it. Okay.
And that is true. That is so true. And I wholeheartedly believe that. Wholeheartedly believe that.
Absolutely. Listen, brother, listen. Ladies and gentlemen, my Donate Life America, okay, it's so important to be a blessing.
If you want to donate, I'm O positive. Contact ShonGee. She can get you my information.
Yes.
We'll navigate this thing called life together.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And listen, we'll celebrate. Celebration.
We're going to do that, man. We're going to do that. ShonGee, when can I come back on?
Listen, you can come back on anytime you want to.
Oh, don't tell me that now.
This is a first. This is not a last.
Okay. I didn't know. I didn't know.
Listen, I am going to be watching your progress, okay? I got my eyes on you, okay? And listen, and while we talking, if there's anything, and I mean anything that you need,
that drink looks good.
Like really, right?
You got to send Glennis that recipe. The little pineapple and strawberry.
Yes, listen, I'm telling you, like Minute Maid, strawberry lemonade, no sugar. Okay, listen, some fresh pineapple, strawberries, and a twist, a little squeeze of lime.
That's it.
Delicious.
All right, ShonGee.
Delicious. Okay, listen, and you can't even tell the difference. Listen, you can enjoy the party and still be festive. Okay,
be festive. There we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, listen, it has been a pleasure having Mr. Willie Oliver in the building.
Keisha, did I talk too much? Did I talk too much?
No, you did fine. You did great. You did wonderful. I told you this your first, but it's not your last. Okay.
Okay.
Listen, you had absolutely a bag of nuggets, and you dropped the mic. You brought the nuggets, baby, to share. Because here on this platform, we not gatekeeping, okay? We sharing what we know. We saving lives while we doing it, okay?
And out there in live land, do y'all know this was all the way live, no delay? So I had to filter what I was talking about. I didn't want to turn up too hard. She told me, she said it was all the way live. So, couldn't turn up too hard.
Yes, listen. Pam said, great job, Willie. You did a great job. Okay.
Thank you, Black woman. Thank you, Black woman.
Listen, if there is anything that you need from ShonGee Enterprises, Wine La Vie, brother, I am there. I'm there to support you and your wife and your family.
Thank you.
Listen, I am there, okay? Just a phone call away. This is your first, but never your last. I got my eyes on you, brother, and I want you to come back with your progression, okay?
But when I get the transplant, I'm under the Piedmont umbrella. I think that's where you work. Come by and see a brother.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. And listen, we're going to take very, 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 very good care of you, okay?
All right, I'm gonna hold you
are in good hands.
All right.
You are definitely in good hands. So, brother, we about to toast this thing on out. Okay. Listen, I am so super proud of you. I thank you for being an awesome impact in the community and the organizations you serve, in your church, with your family, with your wife, friends. Listen. You have done the doggone thing, Mr. Willie Oliver. Okay.
All right, ShonGee. Here's to life.
Listen, ladies and gentlemen, this is my brother. Okay. This is my brother from another mother.
Keisha
and
G.
I love you.
I love you.
Listen, definitely come back. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for being a part of the podcast. Thank you for your participation. If there's anyone that's looking to be on the show, by all means, you can DM me. I would love to have you as a guest on the Wine La Vie podcast. Until the next time, stay tuned on Wednesdays, 9 p.m. Eastern sharp. Okay, we are in the building.
I'm signing up for the next show. DMing you now.
Absolutely. I will definitely put you on the calendar. Okay.
I think you woke up a beast. I like this venue. You don't woke up a beast.
Yes, come on. Listen, no silence here, baby.
No
Release the beast.
That's it. Release the beast.
All right, Willie. Well, stay tuned and thank you so much, brother. And I'm proud of you. I salute you and kudos to you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on. Enjoy myself.
Absolutely.
All right. Take care, everyone.
Until the next time, ladies and gentlemen. Ciao.
Ciao.